12 minutes past 6 the time. A failure to prevent inmates taking their own lives, violence, overcrowding, unacceptably poor availability of clean bedding and clothes. Swansea Prison is not fit for purpose, according to the latest report from the Prisons Inspectorate, which said previous recommendations made back in 2014 hadn't been sufficiently carried out. Peter Clark, the Chief Inspector of Prisons, is disappointed with the lack of progress in Swansea.
We made 63 recommendations on the last occasion, and only 8 of those have been fully achieved when we inspected this last time. So in fact what had happened, instead of making progress, the prison had actually gone backwards, and gone backwards in some very serious, worrying and significant ways.
Mark Lloyd from Rhondda-Cynon-Taf was convicted last year of fraud. He says today's report reflects his experience in Swansea Prison last August and September.
This is exactly how it's reported to be, and worse. It goes further than overcrowding. Yes, it is overcrowded, but there's a systemic lack of care which is given to prisoners regarding mental health, regarding medication, regarding resettlement when they leave, to the point that people aren't getting the care they need in there, and the atmosphere in prison only encourages reoffending.
Well, no one from Swansea Prison was available for an interview. In a statement, though, the Ministry of Justice told us that the Governor and his team had taken immediate action since the inspection to strengthen safety arrangements. This included work to improve the level of care and support given to new prisoners in the First Night Centre. We can speak to Carolyn Harris, Labour MP for Swansea East, though. Good evening.
Good evening, Gareth. How are
Did
you?
anything that you read in this report shock you?
No, not at all. I think it's pretty much as I thought it would be.
That's almost more shocking, isn't it? There's something less doesn't shock you.
You know, I've been into Swansea Prison on many occasions. I think the staff are doing a really difficult job, but they haven't got the resources. I think morale is really low within because of the lack of resources, and the Ministry of Justice have to take this firmly on the chin and say that they're not doing all they could do to make sure that these prisons are offering better service.
What more would you like to see them do?
Well, I mean, like I said, I regularly go into Swansea Prison, and every time I've gone in and spoke to prisoners, they tell me that they've had no access to probation officers. The CRCs are not working. That's the actual offender management programmes. They leave in prison. They've got no idea where they're going to go. They've got no idea what they're meant to be doing. The whole thing is a shambles.
And so this starts in prison, it continues outside prison by the sound of things.
Of course it does, and it only encourages reoffending, and we're sending people into jail for such short spaces of time. There is not an opportunity for rehabilitation. You know, we should be doing more in the community. We should be making sure that the people go in are looked after while they're in there. They're given all the care that they need. There's just not the resources. It's an old building. It's a crumbling building to a greater extent, and the money's not being spent, and the effort is not being put in by the prison service, by the Ministry of Justice, should I say, to make sure that what we have got works effectively.
The location of the prison and the nature of the prison itself, it's a Victorian building, isn't it? For people who don't know, it's on the seafront, it's surrounded by public roads as well. So one of the problems is people throwing things, drugs, mobile phones over the wall.
It's vulnerable, it's very vulnerable.
To be fair to the Ministry of Justice, they do have plans to build a new prison the other side of Swansea Bay in Port Talbot, which is controversial. Where are you on that?
I want what's best for the people who are actually having to spend their time there. They've done the crime, they've got to pay their time, but they do need to have dignity in doing so. So I don't want to get drawn in onto the location of it. What I would say is I will fight against any women's prisons coming to Wales, because it's not the answer to the problem for women who commit crime. It is an old building, and unfortunately the currency inside the prison, as in any prison, is drugs, mobile phones. Where it's located does make it extremely vulnerable, and how you police that is extremely difficult. But that aside, we still have a duty of care to the people who are in there, but we also have a duty of care to the officers who are doing a very difficult job under very, very difficult circumstances.
But when you see the Prisons Inspectorate say that a jail is not fit for purpose, that suggests that the sooner that it can be closed down for all concerned, perhaps the better.
Yeah, well, probably that would be the best outcome. But let's worry about the situation that we've got at the moment. It's not going to go away overnight, is it? So we have to improve what we've got now. Now, there's a new team of management, and from my understanding, they have taken immediate action. But I will be monitoring the situation to make sure that especially any constituents of Swansea East who are resident in Swansea Prison are treated with the dignity and respect that they deserve.
Good to speak to you. Thank you. That's
Thank you.
Carolyn Harris, who's the Labour MP for Swansea East.